Hey everybody, it's Timothy here with Mana Rocks, and we are finishing up Bifrost for Guilds of Ravnica. So first things first, I should mention that I did just recently get over being sick, so if my voice is a little bit on the scraggly side, or if I sniffle a little bit, I'm sorry. I'll try not to do that, or I'll try to speak up a little bit without being too hoarse. But I do want to go and get this out of the way because Ravnica Allegiances, I believe is the name of the set, will be on us in a week, and I would like to get my reviews out before pre-release happens. I don't know if I'm going to get them all out, but we'll kind of follow the same structure as last time. Second thing I wanted to mention is you can find us on Twitter at mtg_manarocks, or you can subscribe to the channel here on YouTube for more content. Byforce is the name of this series, where we are going to do a traditional Guilds of Ravnica draft on Arena, and we're going to force one of the guilds, and the only guild we have left is Boros. So we don't even have to spin the wheel this time. We can jump in and draft on easy mode. I don't remember what video it was, but during one of the Byforce videos, I did pass an Aurelia because I wasn't forcing Boros at the time, so I think it's only fair that I open Aurelia. And instead, this is how you repay me, Arena? This is how you repay me? Okay, well, Mnemonic Betrayal is not exactly an amazing card, but if I was drafting Dimir here, this pack is all Dimir cards. But we're drafting Boros, right? Which means we're going to take True Fire Captain. We're going to stick to our guns, and we're going to draft these red and white cards, even if it's not the right thing to do. And the weird thing about Boros is that it doesn't splash very well. It's usually almost always an aggro archetype, and there's not a lot of flexibility there. So you've gotta take the Boros cards, and you can't really take like Beacon Bolts and cards you would normally expect to splash in other decks. Wojek Bodyguard's also great. But I want to send this signal. Ooh, Boros Challenger is fantastic. Excuse me. Luminous Bonds is also quite nice, but I'm going to take the Challenger. There's a Direct Current here. Pack Beast is a card I like having a one of. I kind of like this even more than Barge and Sergeant. And Guildgate, I don't mind if we get, but I'm not going to go out of my way for it. So Challenger it is. Followed by probably Command the Storm here. I like Gird for Battle, but I think it's a little bit worse than just having a couple removal spells. And I don't love Swathcutter Giant. I like splashing this in other decks. I don't necessarily love it in Boros. So I'm going to take the 5-mana removal spell. Couple very mediocre options here. I might just take Take Heart. 10th District Guide is pretty poor. Halberdiers, I think worse than 10th District Guide. Barge and Sergeant seems to come very late, so I don't have to prioritize it. And I don't want Garrison Sergeant or Gravitic Punch. I might just take the 2-drop because they tend to be a little bit more important in Boros, and you can get plenty of these pump spells if you want them. So I guess I'll take 10th District Guide, but it's about as bad as 2-drops get. Like, I would rather have Shieldmate than 10th District Guide. I am going to take Rubble Belt Boar here over Shieldmate. I don't mind the Boar. Follow that up with Sure Strike is better than Take Heart. And there's Hunted Witness, but I don't even really like Hunted Witness. Alright, couple cards. Color the Culprit I prefer as a sideboard card. Cosmotronic Wave is a decent finisher, and then some mediocre 2-drops again. I'll take the Locksmith, I suppose. Nothing in the pack for us here. I guess I'll take a Locket, but we're not going to play that. Wodev Guardian's also pretty bad. And I'm going to pick up Guildgate here over a 5-drop. Sure. Neither of these matter that much. Sure. Okay, so we didn't really get anything towards the end of the pack. And outside of our first 2 picks, we didn't really get that much, right? 3 decent cards, I would say. True Fire Captain, Command the Storm, and Boros Challenger were the cards we're excited about. Unfortunately, we just opened a pack that has basically nothing I want. I'm going to take the 3-drop, I think, but no, I'm going to take Cosmotronic Wave. But look at this pack. A black rare and then just nonsense. 1 white card in the entire pack, and it sucks. So I guess this is what we're stuck with. Ooh, I do like Risk Factor. That's a little bit of a step in the right direction here. Note that whatever bot took out of this pack took a common. So Risk Factor, I think, is quite nice. And the fact that the bot passed me Risk Factor means they're probably not super aggro. I do need some more early game creatures, which we're just not seeing. We're seeing a lot of the late game creatures, but we don't want a lot of those. We want the decent 2-drops, which right now we have 3 2-drops, but only one of them is good, and we have no 3-drops. So if I have to take a Halberdier at some point, I will, but I'll go and take Barge and Sergeant at this point. I guess Blade Instructor is okay, so I'll take that over Vernati's Shieldmate. Alright, we've got Take Heart here. Wow, these are... what? Sinister Sabotage, Watcher, Golgari Finebroker. Do I just want a Halberdier? Make sure I have another 3-drop in the deck. I think I want that over Take Heart. Sure. Fire Urchin or Hunted Witness? I think Fire Urchin's usually better. I don't really love Hunted Witness in Boros. Alright, here's a choice. Maximize Velocity or 10th District Guide. Take Velocity, I think. Gives you an extra little push. Again, 10th District Guide is about the worst 2-drop you can get. It looks like we've got a lot of Boros cards, but I don't think this is coming together very well. Anytime I have to play Fearless Halberdier, I'm not very happy about it. There's just not much we're seeing in the packs, though. Not wheeling anything either. Alright, before I take this, please, will the Guilds of Ravnica Gods give me Aurelia or Tajik? Huh! Oh, I hate you so much, Guilds of Ravnica Gods. There's a Justice Strike here. That's pretty good. There's also Command the Storm, Hammer Dropper, Locksmith, which... Take Heart, which I'll take on the wheel. But I'm going to take Justice Strike and hope to wheel Hammer Dropper. I think Hammer Dropper is a little bit better when you have Maximize Velocity. But the good removal spell is good. Ooh, Sky Knight Legionnaire is a little bit of a gift. Even if we're not going to get anything back from this pack. There is, again, Hammer Dropper, but it feels like one of the bots is drafting Boros, right? I don't really have a lot to justify that, but it just feels that way to me. Jeez, Thoughtbound Phantasm, Plague Crafter, Artful Takedown, Capture Sphere I like, Piston Fist. Apparently Boros was not the place to be here. Maniacal Rage, I really just don't like in general. It gets better if you have Healer's Hawk. Look at this, the same 3 uncommons. Huh. I wonder if print runs are a thing here. That's so bizarre. These are the same 3 uncommons we open in our pack. The commons are different because I haven't seen a Maniacal Rage yet. How many 2-drops do I have? Like 4? I have 4 and they kind of all suck. Alright, Maniacal Rage. Let's see if we can cheese people. God, these packs have been just not great. I guess Restorer. No, I'll take Color the Culprit for the sideboard. Here's some options. This Hammer Dropper coming late gives me hope that one of the Hammer Droppers comes back. Guess I could take Hazda Marshal. Yeah, I think that's going to be my pick over Hammer Dropper. Alright, so we're getting to the part of the pack where we're probably not getting anything. And this, I would say, did not go too well. Hammer Dropper coming back is nice, though. Take another Collar the Culprit. Sometimes Collar the Culprit is good, but I prefer bringing it out of the sideboard. I definitely don't need 3 in my sideboard. Sure, I don't need another Fearless Halberdier. Crushed Contraband might come in handy. Candlelight Vigil just feels worse than Maniacal Rage. Yeah, this didn't go very well, I don't think. We have maybe like 5 what I would consider good cards. In like Command the Storm, True Fire Captain, Sky Knight Legionnaire, Risk Factor, so Justice Strike. Yeah, I mean, we have 5 good cards. Good news is we don't have to make too many cuts. I think Garrison Sergeant can go for sure. And then what else is bad here? I do not really like Glodev Guardian, but what do I play instead? I don't even have like sideboard options outside of the Collar the Culprit, but I don't want to mainboard this. I could see playing a Loxodon Restorer. It's way better than Glodev Guardian. Fearless Halberdiers in my deck. Ugh, I don't love it. Double Maximize Velocity. Alright. Well, this is where we're at. I don't have a lot of use for white mana, but I still think I don't go 11-7. Maybe I have 1/5. No, I have 2 5 drops and a bunch of 4 drops. So 17 lands is probably right. I've got a couple jumpstart cards to take advantage of flooding, but this deck seems boo-boo. We're going to try it out, though. So hopefully we can just kind of get nut curves against people. Or, I mean, our game plan is really just hoping our opponents don't draw lands. I hate to say it, but we just don't have the early game removal, I think, to get through things. We have, like, Justice Strike and Command the Storm. And that's it. I guess not Command the Storm, Cosmotronic Wave might be our game plan here, but that's the deck. That's Force and Boros. No particular bombs or anything super exciting, but hey, this is supposed to be an example of why not to force decks necessarily. So thank you for joining me. We're going to see how we do in these matches. I don't have high hopes for it, but at least the matches will be pretty straightforward. So join me for round 1 here in just a second. See you there. You know what I really don't want to see with my mediocre deck is 1-landers in my 17-land Boros deck. I'm going to have to mulligan that. This is better. I'm just going to lead off with Marshall on turn 1 over Boros Guildgate. Get in like the 2 points of damage I might be able to get in. Risk factor's fine here. Look, if risk factor deals 8 damage to the opponent, then that's fine. Like I've always been pretty happy with risk factor. Yep, we're keeping, and we'll throw a land on the bottom. Finding a 2-drop would be ideal, I think. Not even that great, honestly, since it kind of messes up the curve for Legionnaire. Actually be interesting. I think Legionnaire on turn 3 is better than some vanilla 2-drop on turn 2. Alright, well that makes my choice easy, and the Marshall's going to go and get in there. Do what I can. Actually, 2-drop would have been great there, because it means Marshall will probably make a token. We could go for the cheese, but against Dimir, we're definitely not doing that. So it's just going to be Legionnaire here. Attack for 3. They have a bounce spell or anything like that, that's fine. I do not want to play against Dimir, that's for sure. Looks like my opponent's got either Dazzling Lights or something along those lines. No, or they could just take 3, that's fine. The more damage I can get in now, the better my risk factor gets later. Ooh, oh, the plot has thickened. Smeltward Minotaur, are we against Is It, actually? Huh. So that makes me want to go Maniacal Rage on this Marshall. Gets me in for 5 this turn. Although Maniacal Rage might just be better on Legionnaire. Putting it on the Marshall just gets me in for 1 extra damage this turn. Could cast Risk Factor. That just deals 4. I put him down to 10 this turn. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and put this on the Legionnaire. I don't really have too much else I can do. We'll go ahead and get in with the Legionnaire, and hopefully they just take another 4. I need my Risk Factor, I think, to draw me 3 cards this game. But we'll see what happens with my Legionnaire. I assume it's going to die on their turn. But at least it's out of range of, like, direct current now. Oh, opponent might not have a 4th land. They don't, but they have mana untapped, so let's see what happens here. Looks like something... No, I get to attack again. Alright, definitely something. Unexplained disappearance. Okay, I mean, that's pretty bad, I guess, but not super bad, right? Wait, unexplained disappearance on Hasda Marshall? Oh no. Wait, why did that highlight Hasda Marshall? That's weird. Oh, the Smeltward Minotaur targeted the Marshall. Okay. So I lose my, whatchamacallit. It's fine. I can play out 2 dudes, though. So Locksmith get down there. Sky Knight Legionnaire get down there. Opponent surveilled to the top. So I assume that's the land that they want here. Their 4th land. Oh, they have something they can cast for 1 mana. They might have Dazzling Lights then. It's not 100% that they have Dazzling Lights, but it did stop there for a second, which means they have a 1 mana blue spell or 1 mana black spell. Ooh, Quasi-Duplicate. It's actually not even that insane right now. Gives them another blocker, but I get the Legionnaire in there. Really, and they attack. That's actually super risky if I have a way to kill their other Smelt Ward Minotaur. So my question here is, if I attack with everything, they block the Marshal, I just replace the Marshal with a Lifelinker, and I get in 2 damage, right? I think, again, I need to pressure my opponent as much as possible, so I think I am going to attack with everything, let them go ahead and kill my Marshal, and then I'll get in 4 damage, I'll have a Lifelinker. If they block the Goblin Locksmith, I still get to keep the Marshal, and I make the Lifelinker anyway. So I'm sacrificing a creature here for a 1/1. And some extra damage that I wouldn't get otherwise. And then I'll just play the Halberdier for the turn. I assume this is going to block Marshal, but it could block Locksmith. If my opponent's best play next turn is Quasi-Duplicate a Minotaur, I feel okay with that. Because if I get in 4 this turn, that means my opponent can't just take 4 off both risk factors. They have to let me draw 3 with at least 1. So yeah, I lose my Marshal, but at least it leaves behind the same amount of power on board. I'm usually fine making that sacrifice when I have a clear attack. Halberdier, go ahead and come down. And let's see what the opponent does here. Might just Quasi-Duplicate again. This can actually trade for a Minotaur. Granted, probably not on blocks, because they're going to make it so it can't block. Barrier of Bones, that does not match up well against Goblin Locksmith. Also means they're not going to Quasi-Duplicate this turn. Well, Hypothesizzle to the graveyard is not something you see every day. Looks like my opponent may just be like straight up Grixis. You would think, is it Splash and Black, but then Barrier Bones? Alright, so I'm going to attack with these 2. If they want to go ahead and lose a Minotaur here to block Halberdier, that's fine. If they have a trick like a Sure Strike, then, you know, I wasn't going to win that exchange anyway. And do I play a Hammer Dropper or Risk Factor? They could have Disdainful Stroke here, hence playing that way. So I think I actually kind of want a Risk Factor. I don't want to play into Disdainful Stroke if I can avoid it. They are on a 3-turn clock with this Sky Knight Legionnaire. In fact, if they can't deal with Legionnaire, they have to just let me draw 3 with the first Risk Factor. That does deal with Legionnaire, but not incredibly so. I'm assuming no attack, and then I'll Risk Factor end of turn. My opponent might just have to let me draw 3. If they take 4, then I can Risk Factor back, right? If my opponent goes down to 2, I can put him down to 1. Because remember, Barrier of Bones can't block if Goblin Locksmith attacks. Alright, they're going to let me draw 3. Yeah, I mean, I won't say we drew, like, exceptionally well. I think I just play True Fire Captain. Maybe I play Hammer Dropper. Next turn I can go 4-drop plus 3-drop, so I don't want to play Blade Instructor. I'm just going to play True Fire Captain and pass the turn back. Opponent's stabilizing a little bit. But again, I think my Risk Factor is going to end up drawing me 3 more cards here at some point. Turns out it probably would have been better to play Hammer Dropper the turn before rather than Risk Factor, but it's fine. Okay, Dowser of Lights is nice. It can't block True Fire Captain, though. I mean, I guess it can, right? Barrier of Bones can jump in front. No, actually it can't. So, let's think about this turn for a second. If I attack with everything, Barrier of Bones can't block. This becomes 3 power. Or I could even make Goblin Locksmith bigger. I do think I want to attack, though. Alright, I know I want to attack with these two. So Dowser is the only thing that could kill True Fire Captain. Yeah, they could also block with Barrier of Bones, and that's fine. But I do want to get the counter on the Sky Knight Legionnaire. So we're going to go attack with these two. No point throwing the other creatures away just to make Barrier Bones unable to block. I would like to get Muse Drake out of the way if I can. Opponent's going to go down to 2 here. You know what? I'm actually going to risk factor right now. Because if I draw Sure Strike, then my opponent dies. I can pump their Dowser of Lights. And if they take 4, they die to True Fire Captain's ability. Which some people forget that it does that. Any damage dealt to it is dealt to target player. Alright, well, no such luck. Opponent goes down to 2 here. I still have the Lethal Flyer. I'll go and play a Hammer Dropper. Command the Storm's a decent draw, too, in case their way of winning this game is to produce a flyer. Command the Storm will take it out. So something like a City Watch Sphinx isn't going to be enough. Quasi-duplicates probably doesn't do very much here. Priority number 1 for the opponent is find a way to deal with Sky Knight Legionnaire. They're fairly stable on the board otherwise. I guess not. Even if Sky Knight Legionnaire, even if they have a removal spell for Sky Knight Legionnaire and I get to attack with the other 3, then this mentors this. Barrier Bones can't block. They would need another blocker. So they need to find a way to deal with the Legionnaire and produce another way to deal with one of these 3 creatures. Which is not impossible, right? If they played like a cheap flyer and then quasi-duplicated it, that by itself would be enough. But I guess we're... Ooh, Ritual Soot. How good is that? That kills everything except for Dowser and Hammer Dropper? Yeah. But now they just die to Command the Storm, assuming they don't have any nonsense in their hand. Which they could. Disdainful Stroke again. I kind of like that better. Yeah, I kind of... If I go for Command the Storm and they have... whatchamacallit? And they have Disdainful Stroke, then I don't get to attack at all this turn. Or at least I would just trade Hammer Dropper straight up. Disdainful Stroke, Dazzling Lights doesn't save them. Unexplained Disappearance does, but it doesn't save their Dowser. Alright, let's just Command the Storm here. Instead of going for Maximize Velocity in a creature. Okay, that did the trick. Make them have something, I suppose. Playing against a Grixis deck here. Color the Culprit. Where are you at? What do we see? We saw Dowser of Lights, and that was it. They probably have more, like Wishcoin Crab and whatnot. Justice Strike's pretty bad against those creatures, so maybe I want to hedge my bets by bringing in one Color the Culprit over something a little less significant. Maybe not. Maniacal Rage. We saw one bounce spell. They had a Hypothesis as well. Alright, I'm going to cut Maniacal Rage for a Color the Culprit, but that might end up being a bad idea. I don't want to play Maniacal Rage against people who have bounce spells, and, you know, 4 damage is going to be enough to kill most things that I put Maniacal Rage on, so let's see how Game 2 goes. Alright, round 2, another one-lander. This is a little bit more on the possibly keepable side, but I'll just mull again. Wow, this hand sucks, but I imagine we're going to see decks or hands like this quite often. This is just kind of how our deck flows. Crappy creatures. Scry land to the bottom. Draw land. Already have seen 6 lands in our Boros deck. Hello, that's a good card. Not very good against Locksmith. Excuse me. Thought my opponent was going to pass there without playing something. Being able to curve out here is nice, though. Excuse me, again. Alright, Vidalcan Mesmerist. Not bad. I could offer a trade Locksmith for Mesmerist. That doesn't actually do anything right now, does it? Jeez, cough. It's coming back. Mid-record. Recording? Mid-recording. Do I play Ledev Guardian for any reason? Probably not. Just attack with Locksmith, let him trade off with Vidalcan Mesmerist, or take 2, and then play the Halberdier, which also trades off with the Phantasm. Locksmith ability, coming in relevant. Assume they're just going to take the trade. I am playing Boros, right? Alright, Halberdier it is. Might have been ready. It might have been better to just play the 2-4 this turn, and then next turn go Halberdier plus maximize velocity. But I'm not 100% either way. Alright, Hammer Dropper is nice. I'm just going to play Ledev Guardian next turn. Or this turn. I don't think I actually want to attack and offer the trade for Thoughtbound Phantasm. Because next turn I might be able to attack with Hammer Dropper, put a counter on the Halberdier. It's actually probably better to attack there. I keep thinking about what I should be doing after I pass the turn, but it might be better to attack with the Halberdier there and then just let them trade so Hammer Dropper can come down potentially. Alright, Fire Urchin, huh? So I could go Hammer Dropper, give it haste, attack with that, and Ledev Guardian. Make this a 3-5, and then if they block it with the Dowser, they just bounce. Or if they block it with Phantasm, that gets eaten. And then Hammer Dropper can't be killed off by Thoughtbound Phantasm. Yeah, this works fine. I don't really get to attack with Halberdier here, though. So I assume they're just going to bounce Dowser off of Ledev Guardian, but they might trade it straight up for Hammer Dropper. Oh, they're just going to chump with Thoughtbound Phantasm? I guess that's not a chump, right? Sure. Oh, I mean, I trade Ledev Guardian for Phantasm here, but that's okay. I don't love it, but it's okay. Untapping with Hammer Dropper is not irrelevant. I will need to draw some other stuff this game, though. Another Dowser. Okay. So one of those is probably going to trade, again, straight up for Hammer Dropper. But I have options here. I can maximize oh, that's again my opponent getting a little bit frisky here. That's a decent draw. Okay, so I can play True Fire Captain, which I'm obviously going to do. And then I can maximize Velocity True Fire Captain. And then both of them can mentor the Halberdier. So I'll have 3 5-power creatures. My opponent must block one of them. If they block True Fire Captain, they take 14 and die. So they have to block Hammer Dropper or Halberdier. I mean, all my eggs are in these baskets now. Like, that's all I got. But that was a very good draw, I think. Could have Dazzling Lights. Alright, so both of these end up mentoring here. What's my opponent's best block? They can rule out True Fire Captain. They probably trade for Halberdier now, right? It's just a 5-4 instead of a 5-2. Oh, you can't block there unless you have Dazzling Lights. That will kill you. Alright, my opponent's just gonna die then. I'm fine with that. Stifle me. Nope. Alright, our crappy Boros deck got there with a combination of bad blocks from our opponent and a little bit of mana screw in game one, but hey, what did I say in the video? That's what we need to win, right? And apparently we cast a total of 24 red and white spells. Not that we care, right? Anyway, that was a fine first match. I'll see you in match 2. Alright, match 2. This would look like a pretty decent Boros hand. We have 2 maximized velocities in our deck. What's going on there? We do get to go turn 2 Challenger and then hopefully a third land for Sky Knight Legionnaire, which is a good start. Opponent Moles here against Arcade Geek, or as I assume it's supposed to be pronounced, Arcade 3 Geek. But good luck to you. Oh man, they're communicating. Alright, Bargain Sergeant was not exactly the card I wanted to draw there. You know what would be really bad if we just don't hit the third land, we can't cast anything else? Boros Challenger is nice though. Can't be dead-weighted. Against Golgari. I think that's more along the lines of what I want to play against. 3-power creatures actually kind of annoying. Let's see if they put the swamp on top. They do. That's annoying. Actually, you know what? That's annoying, but it does let me attack with Boros Challenger. I take back everything I said about you, 10th District Guide. Okay, not everything. Not everything. If they attack, do I block with the 10th District Guide? Pretty sure the answer is yes, but I don't think they'll attack here if Boros Challenger can get in there. What could they possibly play here? I'm not going to block this, because if I don't draw a land, I have the option to go maximize velocity this and mentor this, and this as a 3/3 is a lot better. Okay, that could also just get us, right? I did draw the third land, so I think the right play here is just to play Sky Knight Legionnaire, bite the bullet, and let this trade off, and then we get in 4 damage anyway. So a little bit happier that I didn't block there. A land next turn would actually be awesome, so I can go Blade Instructor plus maximize velocity. Rattling all of lands here would let us do some pretty good plays. But, I mean, a 3/1 does pressure us. Putting creatures in the opponent's graveyard is relevant. They might play like a 4/4 Rezone Lurcher, which would be decent. And by decent, I mean pretty strong. Moodmark Painter, so we're going to take 5 this turn. Okay, fair enough. Land off the top. Maniacal Rage. Okay. I think I just play Blade Instructor, though. Let's see. Are we racing yet? If I put Maniacal Rage here, I'm attacking them for 6. They're attacking us back for 5. Blade Instructor could trade off here. I kind of like keeping this back to potentially block Glowspore Shaman, though. So I think what I'm going to do here is just attack with Sky Knight Legionnaire, play Blade Instructor, and pass. And then, who knows, maybe next turn we Maniacal Rage something and go for a big attack. Also depends on what our opponent plays here. If they attack with Glowspore Shaman, I could just trade straight up as well. But this looks like they're setting me up for like a Crowl or something. So I think I'm going to block here, but not block Moodmark Painter. And now they've got 3 creatures in the graveyard for whatever. Yeah, Crowl Foragers. That's pretty bad for me. They go up to 16, 15, I guess, right? Still not drawing lands. I could go Maniacal Rage here. Attack for 5, 6, 7, 8. Or I could go Ladev Guardian plus maximize velocity. That doesn't seem very good. think my best bet is just to play this Maniacal Rage on the Blade Instructor. And hope maybe I draw something next turn, like a Cosmotronic Wave. I mean, my opponent might not block here. I assume they're going to block with the Blade Instructor, but they might not. Which is really bad for me, because they've already gained 3 life, and they're trading 2 for 1. Ledev Guardian coming down will be able to block this Mood Mark, though, unless they play something else. My opponent has gone 2-drop, 3-drop, 4-drop, 5-drop so far, so let's see if they go, like, land 6-drop. Dowser of Lights. Alright, pretty bad for me still. Pretty bad. Hasda Marshal, also not very good. Let's see, attack for 3. Can take a hit from this. If I attack, I can't actually play Ledev Guardian. Maybe I play Ledev Guardian and I'm just supposed to take a hit from Dowser of Lights. That seems probably right. I don't love that, giving up damage. The problem is if I attack with Legionnaire, I just can't even play Ledev Guardian. So I'm just going to play this, which kind of sucks. But I don't see too many better options. I'm just getting mana screwed this game. Enough to play a couple spells out, but not enough to get ahead of my opponent, which is where I really needed to be. Sure. And they didn't hit their 6th land, so I assume that means they're just going to keep adding creatures to the board. Okay, another 3-drop. Again, very awkward here. I have to block Dowser now. Alright, Halberdier. Guess Legionnaire. I'm not going to win this game by just blocking, right? Alright, let's not attack. See what my opponent does on their turn. I don't think I'm gonna win this game, but we're gonna see what the opponent does. 6th land. Let's see if they have a Vigor Spore Worm. No attack from them. Okay, that's relevant. No attack from them. What does that mean? Probably not much, right? So I play a land. Hasda Marshal. Alright, well, seeing how they did not do anything, I'm going to attack with Legionnaire and see what they have. Follow up with Marshal and pass. I highly doubt they have nothing in their hand, but they didn't play anything on 6 mana. Not even another creature. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm expecting here. Like, if they had a Prey Upon or something, they would have played it, right? Maybe they are on just 2 lands. I have to block this. Could go for a double block. This could blow me out. They didn't have anything. Why not attack last turn if they had something, right? Alright, we get to trade Ledev Guardian for Dowser of Lights. That's okay in my book. Sprouting Renewal to make a 2/2. Okay. Into something else. Another Sprouting Renewal? What? Huh. Alright, I didn't see that coming. Alright, so if I play land, I play Bargain Sergeant and attack with Sergeant plus Legionnaire. That's 4/8 damage. If I attack with Bargain, we're going to play Bargain Sergeant, right? So let's go ahead and just play that and then see what the damage looks like. If I attack with everything and put a counter on Hasda Marshal, again, that's not enough for us to kill them. This is so awkward because I have to trade off with all their creatures, I think. If I attack with 1, 2, 3 guys, I make a 1/1 lifelinker, which could be enough to keep me alive, right? If I go here, 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 and I put a counter on Sky Knight Legionnaire, does that do anything? Yeah, they have to block, but they can just put Moonmark Painter on Hasda Marshall. So they kill that for free. They might not block at all. I have two. I don't die on the swing back this way, though. I think getting the lifelinker down there is relevant. And I don't see a really strong reason that I shouldn't just put the counter on the Sky Knight Legionnaire. If this works and they don't draw anything next turn, I might be able to kill them with just maximized velocity on the Legionnaire. Because as it stands, this can jump here, a lifelinker can jump there, I take 4, but I gain 1, so I end up at 1 life. And them putting the counter on a creature doesn't really matter much here. So I need them to blank, basically, and then I can kill them with maximized velocity on a Legionnaire. Alright, so no relevant draw, no relevant draw, no relevant draw. Alright, we will block as we can. Alright, they lost a blocker too, so that doesn't even kill us without the lifelink. Alright, let's go ahead and go for the velocity. And attack for 5. Sweet. Alright, I didn't think we were winning that game, but my opponent's last 2 cards were 3-mana 2/2s. And I think they took a turn off from attacking at one point when maybe they shouldn't have. Alright, so Collar the Culprit against Crow Forager and Dowsering Light seems like a good bet. Candlelight Vigil? Nah, screw that card. Yeah, just don't want anything else. So go and bring in a Collar the Culprit and bring out Maniacal Rage, maybe. The second maximized velocity. Sure. Maniacal Rage I could see just getting there on a Sky Knight Legionnaire. Granted, they're probably going to bring in like Crushing Canopy and stuff like that. I really wish I had like a Lumina Spawns. I saw one, but I didn't get there. Alright, so game 2. Look, this is the 3rd time this has happened, and we're in match 2. So I'm not saying it's the shuffler or anything, but it's the shuffler. I don't even think I can keep this. No guarantee I can cast anything. Alright, this does something. Go to the bottom. This hand is absolutely dreadful. But if Collar the Culprit is good against something, then sure. Alright, Portcullis Vines, whatever. It's going to stop me from attacking them, but honestly, a 2/2 would have stopped me from attacking them, so... Or at least it would trade off. I've never been impressed with this card. I used to think it was decent, but it's at the point where I just don't even prioritize it. Oh, my opponent is playing Vine Tribal, though. Bunch of Rubble Belt Boars is something. Ooh, combo. 10th District Guard plus Collar the Culprit. We could have blown up that Vine there. Alright, do I skill check my opponent here and attack? Nah. Next turn I can start playing Boars and attacking. Plus the Boars just attack through 0/3s already. So this is going to buy him time, but it's not like they would have been taking a lot of damage anyway. And Collar the Culprit ought to be good against them. So we get a nice clean attack here. Granted, they could, you know, block and sack a Vine, and that's okay. I imagine that's what we're going to see, right? Especially since a lot of their cards want creatures in the graveyard anyway. Ooh, and the fun thing here is my opponent could use either Vine's ability to sack this Vine and draw a card. Because why not? Yep. As expected. If their next play is like tap out for a Dowser of Lights, we actually get a pretty decent attack here. And by decent, I mean 3. So maybe overstating that a little bit. It is, in fact, the Dowser of Lights. I like Risk Factor. At this juncture in the game, not as much. We're going to go ahead and send Dowser of Lights to jail. I'm going to attack with both. I'm not suspecting some sort of haste creature. They get to block here, right? But that at least takes away the option of them blocking more damage, which they wouldn't do anyway, but might as well make them do that. 2 creatures in the graveyard so far for the opponent. Alright, 4 cards too, like, plus the ability to just draw a 5th card, so we're not exactly far ahead of our opponent here. Sure, so Boros going to come down, put a counter, or put its +2/+0 on 10th District Guide. And my opponent might just do the same thing, block and sack. But they didn't put a creature on board. Alright. Looks like the Vine is sacking itself. Could see something like Status Statue on the board here. I don't think I play that land out, actually. I don't mind discarding that, the Risk Factor. And again, the potential of Risk Factor to just deal 8 to our opponent means if they just play like one big creature, I might even attack all in and lose one, put them down to 9, and then have Risk Factor threaten them. Like, yeah, I don't mind attacking into Glowspore Shaman here. They milled Devkar and Distant and 2 lands. I'm going to guess they're not putting a land on top. Alright, opponent's really thinking about it. What does that mean if they put a land on top? They have like Hatchery Spider? Undercity Necrolisc. I always have to reread this card. Sack another creature, put a 1/1 counter on it, gains Menace. Okay, so I'm going to attack with 2 Rubble Belt Boars here. Because holding them back doesn't really do much. I guess if I was really playing to have Cosmotronic Wave, that'd be one thing. Sure. Opponent taking 3 there, so I get to keep a boar. And we'll just pass, no reason to run out Risk Factor now, because they're just going to take 4 from it. I'm going to double Risk Factor on their end step. That puts them down to 3. Oh, Gruesome Menagerie. I can't stop you, so let's see what you get back. Glowspore, Portcullis Vine, or Devkar and Portcullis Vine. That's not even amazing, really. Probably Glowspore, because it trades for the boar. I like this, though. I mean, Gruesome Menagerie is a sweet card. Millen, Deadweight, and Devkar and Distant. 6 million creatures in the graveyard. I don't know why people didn't like Gruesome Menagerie. I always thought this card was good. I know it takes a little bit of setup, but it's not that hard to set it up. And if you got a 2-drop and a 3-drop back with Gruesome Menagerie, you were getting 5 mana worth of creatures anyway across 2 bodies. My opponent there only got 3 mana worth of creatures, which is a little bit worse. I'm wondering if I just hold Risk Factor now and see if my opponent wants to take some extra damage before I do it. Probably not. I'm going to go ahead and Risk Factor. They're probably going to take 4, but it depends on how threatened they are by my last card. If I show them it's a Plains, then they can take 4 and put me in top deck mode. Oh, they let me draw 3? And they were all garbage? Okay. Well, I'm just going to Risk Factor again, discarding this Gate, because I don't need tap lands at this point. Maybe my opponent has a plan for the long game here. Huh. Alright, so they took 4 off the second one. We drew 2 creatures here, though. So, am I attacking with the boar? Yeah, I'm attacking with the boar, but not this thing. Actually, I can double chump Boros, or double activate Boros Challenger next turn. Nah. Alright, let's go and trade the boar off for, I imagine, Glowspore Shaman. And then we'll play our 2 creatures. And we'll pass. Cosmotronic Wave would do the trick here. Spinal Centipede, okay, doesn't change too much, but it's not bad. It is something to watch out for where they can sack it at instant speed to throw a counter around. Uh-oh, looks like removal spell for Boros Challenger. It's going to be a Severed Strands. Maybe. They could also just be Reed and Boros Challenger. Nope, that is in fact a Severed Strands. And they gain 3 life, which is annoying. Locksmith. Alright, well, we don't really have a attack here because they could just sack, again, make this a 5/5. I get 3 damage that way. I'd rather just play Locksmith and pass. I don't like where this is going now. I don't like that they gain the life and that they've got good late game creatures in their deck. Now, that one I don't care as much about. In fact, if they attack, I'd be fine with that. Ooh, with the Necrolisk, that's the one I want them to attack with. It has a menace anyway. I would probably even consider double blocking it. I would have to double block with 5 power worth of creatures, so that would leave me with a 2/2 to a 3/2 and a 2/2. Could also just take 9, which is not something I usually want to say. Command the Storm is a great draw. So if I Command the Storm, kill Moodmark Painter, they sack it, put a counter on something, they're presented 6 damage next turn, and I get to attack with everything. 2 of my creatures get through. I get in for 5 that way. Or I could just attack with 2 creatures here. Hope that they trade off straight up. And then Command the Storm their Necrolisk. I like that a little bit better. So I would rather attack with these 2, I think. Yeah. Go and pump there. Again, my opponent could sacrifice here to make one of their creatures bigger, but I get to blow them out with Command the Storm if they do that. I think they're just going to block and block. Alright, so that's going to be a 4/4. Go and let that resolve. Some argument for Command the Storm while they're mostly tapped out. Oh my god, yes. We got another card out of our opponent there. But that's also why you play at instant speed when you can. Alright, we'll go and play out our creature and attack for 2. Sky Knight Legionnaire off the top, please. Hopefully my opponent has nothing but defenders for my Locksmith. Beast Whisperer. Oh no, that is not what we want to see. Into another creature? Ichqual. Well, GG us again. Keeps going back and forth, but Sure Strike. Oh, I mean, that lets me attack. I don't love it, since they're going to draw basically 2 to 3 cards a turn. Getting this out of the way does make Sky Knight Legionnaire a little bit more of a live draw, though. Barging Sergeant's also relevant. Siege Worm. Very good. God, Beast Whisperer is so good. They're going to attack? You're going to attack? They probably should, but maybe not. Cosmotronic Wave. Alright, so that means... No, Bargain Sergeant's not an out because we can't cast both of them. I think I just have to pass here and hope that I draw something. I don't know how I'm supposed to beat Beast Whisperer, but they could be playing crappy creatures here and they'd still win. Hopefully there are a bunch of X1s, though. But we know their opponent has... If they play like a Crow Foragers or anything like that, we're in so much trouble. They've got 10 creatures in the graveyard. Plague Crafter. Sure, so that's just a removal spell, really? That draws them a card, actually. It's pretty good. Yeah, we'll just sack Hazda Marshal. I don't think I have draws at this point. Maybe True Fire Mentor does something that I'm not thinking of? Yep, just not blocking. Alright, the 13/13 Rezone Lurcher. Sure thing. Let's see what our draw is here. Definitely bringing in more Call of the Culprits, I think. Oh, True Fire Mentor. Captain. Huh. Alright, so I think my out now is that my opponent doesn't know what True Fire Captain does. And they don't attack with everything. Because if they attack with everything, I have to put True Fire Captain on Siege Worm and Locksmith on Lurcher. Nope. Undercity. Okay, they know. Guess I'm not just dead though, right? I don't think I have anything in my deck that I can draw that deals 6 to him, though, so I do think we probably are dead. Inescapable Blaze. Alright. You got us. That was a pretty good game. Good back and forth, but we're going to go ahead and go to game 3. I think, more Call of the Culprits. At least one more, probably not the full 3, because they do have creatures that don't die to that. The upside is our opponent doesn't have a lot of removal, it doesn't look like. Justice Strike would have been good. I don't really want Maniacal Rage at this point, so let's bring in Call of the Culprit number 2. Alright, round 3. We've had pretty good match so far. This hand's keepable. This is probably the best hand we've had so far. Boros Challenger on turn 2 is quite nice. Justice Strike for a late game creature, or something a little earlier on if we need to. Hopefully we don't. Sure, Hammer Dropper's a fine draw. If they have Glowspore Shaman, I might Justice Strike it, but I'll probably just end up playing Ladev Guardian on turn 3. I would rather save my Justice Strike for something bigger. It's kind of annoying my opponent has had this Glowspore Shaman each game. I guess, did they have this on turn 3 last time? Maybe not. Yeah. Alright, pretty straightforward. I'm just going to play Ladev Guardian instead of trading off. And then next turn, maybe Hammer Dropper. If I can establish a board before they get too many big creatures down, this could be good. We saw 2 Undercity Uprisings from our opponent as well. That's good to know about. Although that's really only that good on their big creatures. It's basically Prey Upon on small creatures for a lot more mana. It does have that extra clause of giving your stuff Death Touch. Okay, that's solid. I guess I have to choose. We choose simultaneously. I think I'm actually supposed to sack Boros Challenger. I don't love it, but... Oh, Boros Challenger can pump next turn. Nah, I'd just rather have the natural 4 toughness here. Okay, that's a good draw as well. I'm wondering if I play Hammer Dropper here, though. Hammer Dropper does die the dead weight. That's very annoying. Rubble Belt Boar gets me in for more damage this turn. Alright, we're going to attack and play Hammer Dropper. This has the most potential for next turn. I might even go Locksmith plus Justice Strike, depending on what they do. Could also just straight up kill my Hammer Dropper. Alright, well, opponent's hand is matched up well against mine. Deadweight is the most annoying way to lose your 4 toughness creature, or your 4-drop. But what can you do? Let's go ahead and play Rubble Belt Boar. Attack for 4. At least it was just like 1 turn for 1 turn. Yeah, they spent 1 mana to kill my 4-drop, but they also didn't add anything to the board there. So they used a turn and a card for my turn and a card. 3/3 Lurcher, okay. Still attacking with Plaguecrafter, though. Alright, think I'm just going to attack with Rubble Belt. Offer the trade, and then play Halberdier plus Locksmith. Yeah, I don't really want to Justice Strike a 3/3 when I know my opponent's going to play some big creatures I'm going to have problems with later on. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have like a Burglar Rat or something like that. Play my army of mediocre creatures here. I'd also love to keep this up at instant speed in case my opponent does go for what's that thing called? Undercity Uprising. Well, clean attack next turn if they don't play any other creatures. Locksmith makes it so this can't block. Ooh, and Rubble Belt. So I think we put that on Locksmith. And attack with everything. Trade Plaguecrafter off for the 4-power creature so that this is opened up, I guess. It's either that or Halberdier. Assuming they don't have anything in hand, of course, which they might not. Yep, that cannot block. Alright, trading Locksmith for 3/2 feels okay. I keep my bigger creatures on board. But again, that does keep them open to blocking with this Portcullis Vine now. But this might as well be Luminous Bonds on like a 2/4. I've got 2 3-power creatures. My opponent seems to be struggling on lands a little bit. Or maybe they're going to deploy some 2-drops. They have another Deadweight. See, I can't really tell what they have here because they have this activation up, so they could have anything in hand, really. And the game pausing doesn't give me any information. Okay, Cosmotronic Wave. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I could attack with everything, and then what happens? Portcullis Vine blocks Guardian. This trades for the 3/2, and they take 3. Go down to 6. I still only have 5 damage next turn. But it gets the Dissident off board. Yeah, I guess I'm trading Halberdier for Dissident here. Oh, they're going to block the Boar, so they're planning on sacking it. Okay. I mean, this is one less creature on their board, though. Yeah, I still think I hold Justice Strike in case they just play, like, Deceiver of Form. Dowser of Lights, not Deceiver of Form. Because the way I could see this going is they deploy a big creature, I Justice Strike it. Attack for 5, they play another big creature, I Cosmotronic Wave for the win. So like this, even though this is going to gain them 5 life, so basically it's going to serve as a fog, which is kind of annoying. But we're going to Justice Strike and then attack back for 5, they'll still be at 7. Hopefully we can draw a hasty creature or something to add to the board, though. That's not going to cut it. I would feel a lot more confident if that was just anything to put on the board here. A 2/2 even. Because that makes it way more likely that I can win with this Cosmotronic Wave. I need them to not drop Crow Foragers, though. Opponent's deck is decent. It's kind of what a Golgari deck ends up looking like. Beast Whisper is bad for me. Does give me a decent attack. Color the Culprit's not terrible, actually. I'm going to play that. Attack with both. I They block the Guardian and take 3. That does set up a lethal Cosmotronic Wave next turn if they don't gain life. Hopefully they just tap out for a couple creatures and I can Cosmo win for the turn. I think that's what I need to happen to win this game. My opponent tap out, don't interact with my creatures. I don't care what creatures they put on board as long as it's not more Crow Foragers. Alright, Portcullis is fine. What? Draw a card right away? Hey, 1 mana cantrip in 03 is a real deal. That sacks to draw a card too. Oh, it looks like Undercity Uprising. I can't stop that. Fortunately, this is just small enough that Color the Culprit doesn't kill it. Alright, opponent attacks for 2. So they're just going to block. Jeez, the basics are not doing me any favors. Now it takes 2 turns to kill them. I mean, I could draw a Sky Knight Legionnaire here. I think even Maximize Velocity wins me the game. But if I just draw lands, I don't think I'm going to beat Beast Whisperer. I honestly do not. This looks like Siege Worm coming down based on them tapping their lands, which is fine. Alright, Siege Worm comes down. They can't trip it, but we get to Color the Culprit. So now the opponent gets to ask the question, do they want to block with Beast Whisperer? Which I don't think they do, but we'll see what happens. Come on, just give me Sky Knight Legionnaire off the top. I'll take Maximize Velocity. Maximize Velocity does win me the game here. There we go. So, just to be sure, 1-2, discard Cosmotronic Wave. Yeah, let's not even give them a chance to untap here. Discard the swamp, or the mountain, please. Oh, target a creature. Not target a card in my hand. Alright, it's getting dicey there, but I think we found the line. And the line was player cards. And Cosmotronic Wave. I think my deck probably wanted a second Cosmotronic Wave. Anyway, we steal that game from Arcade Geek. I'm not sure how that would have gone if I had not drawn an answer there. Beast Whisperer? Ugh. Even if they just draw crappy creatures, them putting like 2-3 creatures down a turn is not something I can beat in the long run. But thankfully Cosmotronic Wave exists. That's going to put us at 2-0. Let's see how match 3 goes. Hey, thanks for sticking with it. We're in match 3 here. I'm on the play. I have been fortunate enough to be on the play, but this hand sketch, Fire Urchin's basically the only thing I've got going on, but I'm going to keep it. And we are against Serioinka? Serioinka? I don't know. Serioinka. Opponent Mold. I like. So this hand needs to draw planes plus other spells to be good. I've noticed I don't pay much attention to what my opponents do with their mulligan decision on Arena. Probably because it goes by so quick and I can't double check it. But I always check it on Moto. Ooh, Dimir, again, not what we want to play against. Here I'll just discard a Maximize Velocity, because it doesn't do anything. And Red Source. It's better than nothing. Just go ahead and attack. And ship the turn. Trade 1 for 1. Is that a... trying to take this... Oh, Burglar Rat into Disinformation Campaign? Okay, I'll discard another Maximize Velocity. Opponent should probably attack for 1 there, and I think that's almost even the nail in the coffin. It doesn't feel like it, but the fact that I'm already down 2 cards and can't cast my spells against a Dimir deck, which usually has extremely good late game, probably makes it very hard for me to win. Oh, sure, okay. I mean, do we just concede to that? Not yet. Not yet. Could go Maximize Velocity, discard Blade Instructor, and attack for 3. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Do I discard Justice Strike? A lot of their creatures don't actually die to Justice Strike. Blade Instructor might be important later on with Maximize Velocity. Basically, I'm cashing in Justice Strike for 3 damage here. How is it when my opponents draft Dimir, they get multiple uncommons, and when I force Dimir, I get like 1 uncommon? Alright, no attack with Burglar Rat, huh? But passing the turn with 4 mana up. Alright, let's just run this into whatever counterspell they're holding. Hopefully not Sinister Sabotage. Of course, Sinister Sabotage. Do we just concede this game and go back to square one? I think a lot, LSV and the LR guys were right when it just... This card feels so bad to play against. Look, they're just going to play it next turn. My board position hasn't advanced. I'm going to be down another card. My opponent's up another card. Like, they're not losing any advantage. Just feels terrible. All right, Blade Instructor's gone. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to get rid of True Fire Captain. Don't want to play into my opponent's dead weight? No. It could also just be Dazzling Lights. Sure. I almost don't even want to show my opponent more cards here. But as long as it's something that can attack through Night Veil Predator, it's fine. Yeah, I should have discarded True Fire Captain, not Blade Instructor. Because I need 2 planes to even cast this. Unexplained Disappearance. Alright, I am at the scoop phase of this game. That's how much I hate playing against this. My opponent's got such an advantage on me. Even if it looks like maybe there's a way I can come back, I can't. I've played enough Guilds of Ravnica at this point to know when I'm dead to these Dimir decks with all the answers. And unfortunately, I don't really have anything to bring in against them. More expensive cards are usually pretty bad. And, I mean, that's it. Like, I don't even want to play Maniacal Rage, but what do I bring in instead? Crush Contraband? It's not even a good answer, right? 4 mana to stop a disinformation campaign that's still going to cycle and make me discard a card? Yeah, I don't think so. Just run it back as it is. God, I hate playing against the good Dimir decks. Alright, this is an ideal hand, right? It's full of all of the crappiest creatures I can imagine and a Maniacal Rage. But watch it still lose to my opponent's Dimir deck. Like, this is a good hand. 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop with a Hazda Marshal. My opponent mulls to 6 and keeps on top. Whoop. Alright. Do I Maniacal Rage here? No, let's just get a 2-drop down. Attack with my 1-2. And pass. No Burglar Rat, no Burglar Rat. No rats. No rats. Ooh, we get to play a 3-drop? Alright, well, I'm going to attack. Alright, 1-drop, 2-drop, 3-drop. Maybe even 4-drop next turn? Dimir Informant. Okay. Well, what I can do here is put Maniacal Rage on Hazda Marshal, or I could just play Ladev Guardian. I don't need to attack with Hazda Marshal. Pushes in 5 damage next turn if I play Maniacal Rage. Alright, they keep on top. Both cards on top. I think I'm supposed to push in as much damage as possible, and this starts making the 1/1s as well. Actually, if I don't attack with this, I only get 3 damage, but I get to drop the 2/4. Oh no, I don't make the 1/1 unless I attack with everything. So yeah, let's just get this 1/1 down, put another creature on board, put our opponent down to 11, and we'll just save Ladev Guardian for another turn. Our plan right now is to go wider than our opponent can deal with. They just play another creature here. Hopefully Marshall gets another attack in. And again, maybe we're looking for like Cosmotronic Wave or something. At this point, if my opponent's going to be playing like disinfo campaigns and stuff, that's going to use up so much of their mana. I don't think they're in a good spot, but I'm sniffing out like Artful Takedown or something. So let's just go to attack and see what they do. No, I get to attack. I'm gonna attack. Oh, they could have Whisper Agent. How bad is that? It eats this 1/1. Is that even that bad? Probably not. Well, we got to attack, so I think we can rule out Artful Takedown. And this looks like Dazzling Lights. Ooh, post-combat Artful Takedown. Huh. Alright, well, we can play both of our creatures here. And that's what we've got. So go ahead, opponent. I wonder if my opponent messed up on that Artful Takedown, or if they had a plan. Child of Night's annoying. Double Child of Night's very annoying. Not unbeatable, it's just going to gain him a lot of life. So, attack with everything. They eat this. Trade here, trade here. Oh, that's so bad. Alright, so I think we go attack, attack, attack. And then play Fire Urchin. I'm fine with basically any blocks that happen here. Getting the Child of Nights off board is good. Well, opponent stabilized. Double Child of Night. Stupid there, actually. Spinal Centipede, okay. Not the worst. Opponent's on all spells in hand, though. They're not playing lands. God, I really want to be a 16 land deck because of stuff like this. I don't think I can even attack here, so I'm just going to pass. I do not want to be passing into my Dimir opponent, giving him extra draws. Dowser of Lights, okay. Color of the Culprit's coming in game 3 if we get to a game 3. Ooh, I like Risk Factor. Just cast it. Even if I double Risk Factor here and my opponent just takes 8 down to 5, that leaves, again, Cosmotronic Wave as a potential draw, which my opponent's got to know. Alright, opponent's got a clock now. I've got them at virtually 5, though, with Risk Factor, so if I could draw Cosmotronic Wave, then this feels good. Opponent surveilled 1 card to the graveyard, so they know their next draw as well. Boros Challenger is fine. I will play that and then Risk Factor again on their turn. And we're really hoping to draw Cosmotronic Wave. I'm actually just going to Risk Factor now. That way I can't get countered. Oh, I draw 3 cards. Alright. Unfortunately, Justice Strike doesn't do very much. Huh. Yeah, Justice Strike kills Spinal Centipede, and that's it. Jeez. Them leaving all that mana up is really bad. Gonna play out a land here, have the potential to double activate Boros Challenger. They've clearly got a counterspell of some sort in their hand, or at least some sort of instant speed spell. I would bet money that they have an instant speed spell. Artful Takedown number 2. Lucky opponent. Oh, I could not have double pumped that. Never mind. I mean, that makes sense. Yep, we're slowly losing this match. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Nope. If I draw Cosmotronic Wave, I can win. Oh my god. Just pass. We've drawn 10 lands, though. I think we're going to take the big ol' L against this. Ooh, Splash and Golgari. Really, opponent's that cautious? What does Rebel Belt do? Nothing? play it out. Again, I still feel like my opponent has something in their hand. A counterspell of some sort. Although if they had a counterspell, why not attack with at least one of the flyers, right? Alright, there we go. Barging Sergeant. Barging Sergeant can attack along with a 3-power creature. They get to eat 1 with Dowser of Lights, and they get to block the other one. Alright, well, let's cast it and see if it survives for 1. Or if it gets countered. Alright, Devious Cover-Up. The worst case scenario. Why couldn't they have Sinister Sabotage this time? My opponent's deck is good, but, I mean, that's probably just saying Dimir decks are good, right? Oh, no, 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 no. Alright. Back to you, Tom. Saryuenka. Let the beatdown commence. Cosmotronic Wave, please. Off the top. Rubble Bell again. I imagine they're going to lose a Spinal Centipede here. Oh, maybe I should have killed Spinal Centipede with Justice Strike. Maybe I still should. Still should. Since it's the only thing that Justice Strike even dies to. But then they get to 2-turn clock me. No, let's just let this trade. Oh, they get to 2-turn clock me anyway. That's if they want to block with both flyers, though. No, really? Put it on there? Okay. Seems like a strange choice to me. Guess I should have looked harder at what they shuffled back, because they did not shuffle the second Artful Takedown back. Oh, really? Dang, that doesn't target either. That just kills all my creatures, doesn't it? Well, okay, my opponent has Finality in their deck. Yeah, they're going to put it on the Hexproof thing. The problem is I can't Justice Strike anything off here. If I Justice Strike before combat, they could just not put the counters on it. I don't think I can win after that Finality. I mean, look at the board. That was brutal. Finality is a pretty busted card and just destroys me anyway. Alright, land number 11 is going to go and pack it in. My opponent definitely took this one. Wasn't even close, I don't think. I mean, it was close. If I'd drawn Cosmotronic Wave, we would have died. But my opponent's got a pretty sick deck there. Anyway, we're going to take the first L. So remember, another L gives us the 2-2, which is not what we want. We want to win at least one more. But as I said, I don't really love the Boros deck. So let's see how we do in match 4. All right, match 4 is up. And again, I said I was fortunate enough to keep getting to play, but this is the 3rd match I've drawn a 1-lander or 0-lander in, so I don't think I can keep. This hand kind of sucks, too. If I can scry into a 1 or 2 drop, 2 or 3 drop, I already have a 3 drop in the hand. God. Against Dipiano. Ooh, another white deck. Are they going to have the Healer's Hawk? No, Flower. So we're against Selesnya. Probably. Which should be close to an equal match, but not with this hand. 1 Luminous Bonds kind of shuts us down. Hopefully that Cosmotronic Wave ends up being good against them. Unfortunately, our first play of the game is going to be a 3-drop that dies to most of their 2-drops. Alright. The most fearless halberdier of them all. Peacemaker. Alright, let's see if we draw a land or not before we determine whether we want a Maniacal Rage. We did draw a land. which really makes me want a hammer dropper here. Alright, I'm going to jam. They want to trade, that's fine. Alright, they did not trade, so hammer dropper is going to go ahead and drop the hammer, if you will. Alright, just play a bunch of X1s. Play a bunch of X1s. Nope, looks like removal spell for hammer dropper. Conclave Tribunal? Jeez, okay. Oh, we're playing against opponents with good decks today. Alright, hopefully they attack so I can Rubble Belt bore him at least. Put him back below 20. We don't even have enchantment removal, do we? Crush Contraband, which is actually better against Conclave Tribunal than it is against Disinformation Campaign, since you can do a little bit of a surprise. You might get a blocker your opponent wasn't planning around. Boros Challenger into Maniacal Rage might be my next turn. Okay. Or another Rubble Belt Bore. As long as I can add to the board and still have a good attack, that's kind of what my plan is right now. Although, Boros Challenger with the Maniacal Rage on it is really good, but I want to use my mana. I don't want to just run that out. So I'm going to play Rubble Belt Bore. I'm going to go ahead and pump up Halberdier here, since that's the creature I'd most likely want to trade, and then just attack for 5. Alright, opponent's trading straight up there is kind of nice for me. Oh, the vine, it shows its face again, or its wall? I don't know. Into another Rosemane Center. Alright. Alright. I get it. Ooh, that was a great draw. So we Justice Strike here, attack for 6, and play Boros Challenger. That was a great draw. That almost makes up for all the crappy draws in the last game. So thank you, Ravnica gods, who forsook me with this deck full of Fearless Halberdiers for letting me draw that Justice Strike. Pitiless Gorgon. Alright, I guess that messes up plans a little bit. 3, 6, 7, 8. If I can push in 2 damage this turn, I can have them dead next turn. If I cast a Maniacal Rage on a Boros Challenger, they will definitely block, right? Play the land. I could also just pump this, attack with 3 3/3s. One of them probably gets through, right? And then the other 2 probably trade off here and here. I could also Cosmotronic Wave and put them down to 1. That doesn't quite cut it. Alright, I think my best course of action here is just to attack with all 3 creatures. If they want to trade 2 creatures for 2 creatures, then sure. Yep, so no reason to pump then. But also nothing really to follow up with. So it's just my 3/3 staring down this Portcullis Vine. I feel like we've been here before. Oh, they are going to chump with Portcullis Vine. Okay. Oh no, they're going to Pax Favor. Yeah, I guess I should have planned on that. Can't do anything about it. So I actually lose my Rubble Belt Bore here. So I've got nothing, and they're on Portcullis Vine in 3 cards. Youch. Alright, well, I'm glad I didn't go for Maniacal Rage. That wouldn't have made a difference. It makes no difference. Oh, okay, and then they're just going to play this. Sure. Alright. Are we in Scoop Phase yet? I always feel like I'm in Scoop Phase in this deck. That's why I don't love playing Boros, and I haven't drafted it very often. Because you get to points like this where you know you're just kind of dead without, like, a sequence of amazing draws. I mean, we could draw, like, Sky Knight Legionnaire here and have a chance, but maybe not. I mean, what? What is this? Where did all this come from? My opponent didn't play any lands. Alright. Sure. Opponent's got a Selesnya deck with a bunch of payoff uncommons. You know, it would have been nice to have a Boros deck with all that. And Collar the Culprit definitely coming in. Crush Contraband. We still didn't see an artifact and only 1 enchantment. Bring out one of the velocities. And the most fearless halberdier. No, I like the 3 power creatures. Locksmith's okay. Cosmotronic Wave looks like it'd be fine. Alright, maybe just 1 color the culprit, I guess. Sure. Alright, again, not high hopes. My opponent has just great uncommons again, but let's see if we can beat him. Oh, we go first, do we? Yeah, I mean, we chose to. Yeah, we'll go ahead and keep this hand. 2-drop, 3-drop. Command the Storm at the top is expensive, but fine. Opponent just randomly showed us a bunch of awesome cards at the end of that last game. No Portico is mine. Alright, yeah, I can't really get Boros Guildgate down here without skipping out on a turn, so there's also not really much of a benefit to do so. Alright, Shieldmate. I wonder if I'm not even supposed to be trading off creatures. I think I do because they have, like Rosemane Centaur and whatnot. If I can just keep those off board for a turn, that's pretty good. Yeah, my opponent not blocking there indicates that they probably want to play a early, whatchamacallit? Huh. Can't play anything next turn if I don't play Boros Guildgates. Next turn, if I have 4 lands, I can play District Guide into a Dev Guardian. And that means sacrifice and playing Halberdier this turn, and then next turn not playing anything. So I think I actually do play Guildgate here instead of the 3-2. Opponent also looks like they're missing white mana, but this is going to help them cast their Rosemane Centaur. Alright, we got us a Vine, which, remember, can't block while this thing's out. Oh, they could have Pax Favor here. I think my play is the same, though. Go District Guide into a Dev Guardian and just pass the turn. Sure. The Dev Guardian blocks their creatures fine. I imagine we're just going to see Rosemane Centaur on their turn, which would make a land drop for me pretty good. And just command the Storm. Could still play Rosemane through a Portcullis fine. Alright, nothing too drastic yet. Justice Strike, you say? Just play Halberdier. Do I have any attacks? If I attack with everything, all 3 of my creatures trade off for all 3 of these, which seems really janky to me. So I'll play Halberdier and pass the turn. Ooh, sack and Vine on their turn. Really trying to hit land drops, I guess. Iron Shell Beetle. Counter on, yeah, Pitiless Gorgon makes sense, I suppose. Barging Sergeant. Unfortunately stuck with 3 cards I can't actually cast. Things are a little bit different this turn. If I Justice Strike here and attack with everything, Iron Shell Beetle doesn't have a good block. So these get to trade for my 3-2 and my 2-1. And then they just bounce. I only deal 2 damage, but I get to clear a bunch of their creatures off, including their white source, quote-unquote. I think Justice Strike is better served against different creatures, though, so I'm not sure if that makes sense or not. I'm going to attack... Well, if I attack with a 3-2, they have control over what trades for it. So I'm still just going to pass here. I'll hold up Justice Strike in case they play like a big creature this turn. If they attack with Shieldmate, I have a little bit more control. Plus I can play around Gift of Pack Strength or whatever it's called. Sure, so here we're just going to Justice Strike that off and then we'll be back to square one, but with a much better attack. Actually, not even, because that thing we don't get to Justice Strike anymore. Whatever, here's the plan. Justice Strike, kill that. And that's decent. So question here is Bargain Sergeant or Command the Storm? If I Command the Storm, I get to attack for all of this, which is what, 10? No, 9. Put my opponent down to 9. Or I could play Bargain Sergeant, attack with a few things. The Sergeant, the 3-2, and this. They trade Gorgon for Bargain Sergeant. I don't really want to use Command the Storm on Pitiless Gorgon. That's the problem. Alright, let's go Bargain Sergeant here. If I attack with everything and they block here, how much do they take? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think they're going to block Bargain Sergeant with Pitiless Gorgon. So I'm going to attack with all of these. I'm going to put the counter on the Locksmith. No, the 10th extra card. 3-3 is better than 3-2. And then I'm kind of hoping Pitiless Gorgon goes in front of this Sergeant. Port Close Find cannot block. And it does look like my opponent might have a Convoke card here. Although, actually, again, I can't tell because they have enough mana to activate this, so it's just going to stop at any point. Let's see. If I were them... Yeah, this I like because I get to keep all my other creatures on board. So it's almost like I played a removal spell that got me an attack. Almost like a Cosmotronic Wave there. Oh, they're going to sack the Vine right now? Okay, I guess they just need to draw into white mana. Got in a huge attack there, though. Let's see what their play is this turn. It'd be actually a little bit dangerous for them to Convoke. If I kill one of their blockers, whatever they Convoke out, and they tap creatures down. Pretty good draw as well. So I can go and attack with everything here. I don't know that I want to trade Locksmith for Iron Shell Beetle. I think I said this didn't have a good block. It's clearly not true. If I attack like this, their best block is probably Dissident on something, and I can go ahead and just use Sure Strike and keep up Command the Storm. I like to chump with the Beetle. So I could be running into Dissident activation plus the +3/+3. Which it looks like that might be what happens. If I Sure Strike... No, let's just... Yeah, let's just Command the Storm this thing. And that way they can't... Yeah, it won't live through the +3/+3 if they put it there. Alright, looks like they don't have a trick, so we get to keep 3 creatures to their nothing. And we have Sure Strike. Peacemaker. Peacemaker? That's so relevant. Alright, we're going to trade Sure Strike for Peacemaker and get in 4 damage this turn. Or attempt to, that's the plan. And then play a 3/2. Put our opponent down to 7. So now they have to deal with 2 creatures. Alright, we get to go to a game 3 here. Remember, if we lose this game, we're out. We brought in 1 color. The culprit still seems pretty good. Crushed Contraband still seems pretty bad. Lodev Guardian matches up actually fairly well against their creatures. And a lot of my creatures don't, but we're really banking on Mentor here. I wonder if I want, like, Candlelight Vigil. I can't imagine I do, so let's try it out. Alright, game 3 against Dipiano, Dipiano, I don't know. It's an okay hand. Could really benefit from having a Sky Knight Legionnaire, but every Boros deck could. They have the Healer's Hawk. Hopefully dies to Cosmotronic Wave at some point, even though it's going to get its damage in until then. It's a nice start for a Molda 6. I think 10th District Guard is probably better to play here than Fire Urchin. Just because if they don't really have much of a follow-up play, I'm dealing 2 damage instead of 1. Not really a huge deal. Drawing a 3-drop to kind of round out the curve would be very nice. Peacemaker is not very nice. So opponent's going to be at a lot of life this game, but at card disadvantage. Alright, well, drawing a land there was pretty horrendous. We need to make sure we have things going on here. If my opponent attacks with Peacemaker, do I double block? I can't imagine that's right. I bet I could have attacked into them and they wouldn't have blocked after having seen Sure Strike. Alright, opponent's got a pretty insane mole here. Rubble Belt Boar, huh? Alright, I'm going to play Hammer Dropper and just pass. Yeah, and I'm not really in a position to be racing. At least not well. No, I'm not going to block. Alright, well, Dev Champion as well. Very good. Alright, maximize velocity, huh? So what's the plan here? I want a Cosmotronic Wave that would kill Healer's Hawk and let me get a clean attack in, unless they use a +3/+3 on it. I get to attack for 2, 4, 9, 10 with the Mentor. Alternatively, I can play Rubble Belt Boar. That gives him an opportunity to gain more life. Rubble Belt Boar plus maximize velocity. What happens if I Rubble Belt Boar? I get to pump this. Maximize velocity makes this 3 power. I get to attack with Hammer Dropper plus this. Yeah, these don't seem great. I think I'm going to go for the Cosmotronic Wave plan and just get a big pump in, get a counter on one of my guys. Go and jam with everything. Put a counter here. So again, I deal 10 to my opponent. They do untap with Dev Champion and a lot of power of their own. We're both at 17, though. Even dealing 10 to them there, they've already gained a bunch of life. Alright, opponent says we're racing. So we must be racing. Oh, and they're just tapping in. Opponent doesn't even care. I'm at 6, though. I can't exactly just jam back every turn of this game. I don't think I can kill them either. Not even close. So I have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 on board. 10 with Mentor. Can I kill my opponent here? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 10 with Mentor. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Wait, hold on. This might be lethal. Let me think here for a second. So I play Rebel Belt Boar. I pump whatever, Hammer Dropper. That's 7 damage. I play Maximize Velocity on this. That's +4, so that's 11. This will be 12, 13 with the Velocity. 14, 15, 16. I don't think that kills them. Oh, I thought I had it there for a second. Oh, wait, did I count Mentor, though? God, this is so confusing. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 with Maximize Velocity. 14, 15 with the +2/+0. 16 with the Fire Urchin trigger. And 17 with the Hammer Dropper. I think that's lethal. Alright, let's put that here. 7. Right now I have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This is 15, 16, and then, yeah, 17 with Mentor. So maximize velocity on Rubble Belt. That gets pumped. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yeah, I think this does it. I think that's going to do it. This should be 17 exactly. 6, 10, 17. Oh my god. That was intense. That was insane. Okay, I'm glad we thought that one out. Hey, we get to keep playing. That's the fun thing. I haven't cast any blue or black spells. Deadeye Plunderers. Alright, well, you get to see at least 2 more matches here. Well, at least 1 more, potentially 2 more. But we get to break even on this pretty bad Boros deck. Let's cut to the chase. I'll see you in round 5. Alright, round 5. Please do not tell me there's not something wrong with the shuffler here. This is round 5. This has happened. This thing is always in the hand, too. This has happened, what, every single match? A one-lander? Whatever. Anyway, we're on the play. We have to mulligan. It always mulls into this, too. I don't think I can keep this. This doesn't do anything. Sure. Man, I'm gonna... I'm on the play. I'm gonna bottom Justice Strike. I need to draw creatures and lands. Like, removal spell's gonna trade 1 for 1. I'm against Moki Moki. Okay. The Guilds of Ravnica gods smiled fortune upon me in that previous game. Uh-oh, Gateway Plaza. That could mean anything. But can my opponent beat the Fearless Halberdier? Any land will give us access to True Fire Captain, which is a nice follow-up if we draw any land. Piston Fist Cyclops, huh? Can't even Maniacal Rage past it. I'm definitely going to attack into it. Not having a follow-up play is really bad. Sure, can't do anything about it. Just going to Risk Factor here. Risk Factor is going to deal 4. This Maniacal Rage is going to be really bad in my hand. Opponent's probably going to play some nonsense this turn. That's pretty nonsense. Uh-oh, we're against... Who knows yet? Alright, let's go and just run out the Risk Factor, deal 4 to our opponent. Sure. Land? Alright, that's a start. So, question is, Hammer Dropper or True Fire Captain? They're both pretty good. They're both disdainful strokeable, so I'm not even going to really account for that. I guess Hammer Dropper deals more damage. Oh my god, my opponent has the Disdainful Stroke too? They always have it. Oh, it's Radical Idea. I'm already getting all worked up, and my opponent hasn't even cast their spell yet. Alright, well, let him untap and, like, Deadly Visit, or, God forbid, Dead Weight them. Nightville Predator. Sure. If that just trades, that's okay. I prefer that that doesn't happen, but my opponent might not want to just take 5. I don't really care if I discard True Fire Cap or discard Maniacal Rage, so I'm gonna run out True Fire Captain. If the opponent has like a Burglar Rat or Disinformation Campaign, then I'll discard the Rage. It's fine. Of course, if my opponent just deals with my True Fire Captain with their 5 cards, then I'm dead, but they are pitching Radical Idea here. Oh, stop that. I guess we're casting Maniacal Rage. Oh, another Spy Bug. This could get nasty real quick. Fire Urchin. Yeah, I guess just play out Fire Urchin and Maniacal Rage. This lets me attack this turn. They might just block with Wall of Mist. Oh, I get to deal 0? No, that doesn't even trigger? Yeah, I guess 0 damage is not damage, right? Alright, let's see. anything that interacts with this and surveils is really bad for me. Watcher in the Mist is also probably pretty bad for me. Both cards to the graveyard, though. One card in hand. And opponent's getting frisky. I like it. Alright, Hazda Marshal is not unbearable. No reason to attack with Fire Urchin here. Oh, actually, I could... shoot, I should have attacked with Fire Urchin. 100% should have attacked with Fire Urchin to put a counter on it. Right. Yep. I missed out a little bit, because next turn it could attack again as a 3-power creature, and then risk factor could bump it up to 4 to get through this thing. Alright, so opponent sees that maybe they need to do some walking, I guess. Hence the Dimir Spybug sitting back. So my question is, what am I doing this turn? If they had a Surveil card, they wouldn't need to do that. So I don't think they have a Surveil card. What's their best block here? This and this. I trade True Fire Captain for Watcher in the Mist. Deal 3 to them. Play out a creature that doesn't block their stuff. Could attack with Hazda Marshal as well. Huh. I don't think it gets better not attacking. I guess if I attack here, they can't double block with these two here and still double block this. So I am going to attack with Fire Urchin. I'm going to play as if their last card in hand is not something super relevant. Alright, yeah, I do think we just kill Watcher in the Mist. Oh, I get to deal 5 to him, actually. What's risk factor now to get the extra point of damage on Fire Urchin? And I think they have to let me draw, actually, right? If they have nothing in hand, otherwise they're going to take 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, they have to let me draw here. I don't think they can take 4. Alright, alright. Sure. So, bada bing, bada bing. And we put them down to 2 here, don't we? Yeah. Alright, so I could play Sky Knight Legionnaire, or I can bait my opponent into thinking I don't have a way to deal that 2 to him, and then play Sky Knight Legionnaire and attack him. If I play Sky Knight Legionnaire, they don't attack with their Spybugs. But as it is, I think they're going to attack with both Spybugs. Nope, they do not. Which kind of makes sense, though. If I play Command the Storm, take this out, they have to block here. They have to double block Fire Urchin and lose a creature. Or do we just kill a Spybug here? Yeah, let's kill a Spybug. And then they double block Fire Urchin. No, they don't have to double block because this goes here, this goes here. I'll just attack with this and then try to get rid of Dimir Spybug so that the Legionnaire can go ahead and mop things up. Opponent's splashing red for something, though. Alright, let's go and play Legionnaire and see if that's good enough. Alright, opponent scoops for us. I was debating playing the Boar and attacking with the Marshal as well. Okay, against a bunch of Dimir Spybugs and basically a Surveil deck. Color the Culprits. Probably not the best against Spybug. If Spybugs get up to 4/4, we're super losing that game. Doesn't stop Darkblade Agent. It really only kills Watcher in the Mist. And I'm sure they have like Dowser of Lights or something like that. I don't know. Kind of tough to figure out what we should be doing here, but I don't think I changed very much. I don't like the Maniacal Rage, but my opponent didn't have removal, so let's see if we can just sneak in a win. Alright, alright. I don't even want to talk about it. Let's go down to 6. Sure, this is a very good hand, I think. Yeah. 1 drop, 2 drop, 3 drop. That's kind of what we need to do to win with this deck. Hopefully opponent doesn't just dismantle us from the beginning, but... See what their 2 drop is. I might play Maniacal Rage. Probably won't. Rather play the Boros Challenger if I could. Ooh, them not having a play there is very nice. Alright. I have challenged you. The Boros has challenged you. Pitiless Gorgon. This card has actually been really good against my deck. I do get to attack here. Sky Knight Legionnaire would have been awesome, but that's just kind of the story of the game here. Anyway, I'm going to attack with these. I'm going to keep a 2-2 on board and just trade off Boros Challenger for Pitiless Gorgon. Pretty obvious turn. Not much I can do about it. Just play Blade Instructor. Next turn I have the option to go Fire Urchin plus Maniacal Rage. Okay, Moki did not draw islands there, I'm imagining, so we get to snipe the quick victory in round 5, and that's going to leave us with one more round playing for all the chips. I don't know how this Boros deck is on par with the Dimir deck we had, but nonetheless, here we are, one round, whether we win or lose. That's going to go ahead and finish up by force. See you in round 6? Round 6. And round 6, our final round. I guess I get to give up a little bit of complaint equity here because this is a perfectly reasonable hand on the draw. We're against Judith the Scourge Diva, so someone's got their Ravnica Allegiances ready. I'm actually excited to play with Judith. Seems really fun. Opponent mold there. A lot of people have been mulling today. I've mulled probably about half my games, and my opponents have mulled about half their games. At least it seems like that. Plus, my last round opponent got mana screwed. Ooh, alright, against Is It for the final round. I do think Boros Challenger is a better 2-drop on my side than Fire Urchin is on their side. Right now, as it stands, we're going to go Challenger, Halberdier, Hammer Dropper, so a bunch of X2s. Okay, this is good. This is good. Means I probably get to attack them. Blade Instructor, that's better than Fearless Halberdier, right? Although Fearless Halberdier can straight up attack into that. I'm going to play out Blade Instructor. It is just better, right? No reason to attack here. I might be blanking on a 1-mana red spell. I don't think there is one, but... Let's see what the follow-up is. Kind of want to play Hammer Dropper next turn. But again, if I have to play Sure Strike to get a good attack in, that might be right. And then I've always got the Hammer Dropper plus Maximize Velocity up, which I like. Cosmotronic Wave would also be a really good draw. Oh, God, I hate this card. Let's see. Just play Hammer Dropper. Or if I attack with both, what do they block with? Mesmerist blocks here. I get a 3-4 on board versus these two, and then I get to play Hammer Dropper. So I just lose Blade Instructor. That's probably fine, right? If it trades off or something. Yeah, that seems reasonable. If they want to get super frisky and block Boros Challenger, then they're in trouble. But I could blow Sure Strike here. I don't think I want to. Oh no, don't double block. Okay. Okay, alright. Looked like my opponent was debating something there. Alright, Hammer Dropper coming down. And pass. Crater Maker. Alright, that's probably going to kill Hammer Dropper right away. That would be my guess. Yep, so might as well have been a dead weight. Could have been a direct current for all I care. That's why Hammer Dropper is not exciting. 4 mana, but it dies to a lot of the cards that are just floating around here. Yeah, probably see an attack as well. Alright, so I think this is a good turn to just go Halberdier plus Maximize Velocity. That gets us in for 7. So really pushes us ahead. We get another creature on board. Opponent is down to 3 cards and didn't have a land. Alright, 2 cards. Some number of Hypothesizals. Ooh, Cracklin Drake. The good old 0-4 Cracklin Drake. One of my favorite cards from this set. And what do we do here? So I can just straight up pump this, right? I can pump, attack with both, have 2 4-power creatures. They can double block Halberdier, and I can sure strike them. I think that sounds pretty good. Yeah, I think they go for the double block on the Halberdier. Wonder if I just let that happen. Probably not. It's probably worth using my Sure Strike. I get to keep my creature on board. And I don't think this is going to get huge next turn. Even if it is, I now have 2 4-power creatures that trade off for it. So let's see. Alright, opponent passes. Justice Strike's pretty bad here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I don't want to discard anything to maximize velocity here, so I'm just going to pump and attack. Or rather, I'm just going to attack, like, see what the opponent does. Could be like Artful Takedown or something. Capture Sphere, maybe. Artful Takedown would not kill Challenger. Oh, Sonic Assault. Okay, we can deal with that. We can deal with the Sonic Assaults. Opponent's got the choice here of Sonic Assault and my Halberdier as well. Looks like they're going to opt not to do that. But they're going to go down to 2. That's not good for them. I'm going to add a 2-power creature to the board. I have a Justice Strike for anything big. If I draw another creature, I have a Maximize Velocity. Ooh, Ionize. Did not see that coming. Youch. Well, now they need to draw something really good, actually, because they can't have this card plus use Sonic Assault. They can Sonic Assault and then just block with Cracklin Drake. But if I draw a creature, this doesn't work. And in fact, Oh. How good do I think the card they drew is? Nah, let's just go for it. If they drew a relevant card here, then they get me a little bit. Sonic Assaults will not save them here, but maybe the card they drew will. Alright, cool, we got him. Maximize Velocity's been putting in its fair share of the work. Cracklin Drake is probably good enough, or Color the Culprit's probably good enough to bring 1 in case they have other flyers. They probably have like maybe 1 to 2 targets for it. Maniacal Rage seems bad. And yeah, our cuts have been pretty easy. Not much we can do. Let's sweep this up. Game 2 coming up. Alright, round 2. This could be the final round against Judith the Scourge Diva. Any hand with 2 lands in Boros Challenger I'm going to keep. Third land, we actually need to draw a couple lands to make this hand good, but we are in the draw. Opponent keeps a full 7 this time. Any other 2-drop, 1-drop, or third land gets us a Dev Guardian. Okay, that is part of the way there. Part of the way plan. So this is a really decent curve if we draw lands. Sure Strike. Sure Strike's useful in this sort of matchup. I mean, Sure Strike's definitely been pretty good in GRN. Beam Splitter Mage. But no third land. Okay. Wow, Hasda Marshal? That's a pretty good draw, right? So what are our options here? We can attack with Boros Challenger. Or we could play Hasda Marshal plus Ladev Guardian and have a much better attack next turn. I think I like that. That sets me up to have the 1/1 token, and the Mentor on the Hasda Marshal matters. So I'm sacrificing 2 damage on the opponent, who's mana screwed right now, so I feel like I should just build as much of a board as possible. I'm sacrificing 2 points of damage to potentially just build a much bigger board next turn. Basically, if I just played Ladev Guardian, if I attacked for 2 and played Hasda Marshal, and then next turn played, like, Ladev Guardian, I would have this same exact board, but the turn after. As it stands, though, I don't have any other play, so I'm just going to go ahead and attack with everything, and I assume my opponent's going to block Hasda Marshal. I'll just let that happen. I'd rather save Sure Strike for something else. My opponent being mana screwed doesn't help them. Yeah, I'm fine with just losing that here and keeping the Sure Strike up. Especially since this can just mentor onto the 1/1 lifelinker now. We can attack straight through that. I think we might get our coveted XO or whatever. X1. 6/1. Here we're going to attack with everything. My opponent is going to take 4. I'm going to gain 2, and we don't lose any creatures. In our hand full of 4 drops. Yep, Boros. This is what Boros looks like. 4 drops for days. It's going to be very hard for my opponent to win, because at some point I'm going to draw a 4th land and have Cosmotronic Wave active. There we go. Alright, let's make a game of it. Sonic Assault is my guess. That only does so much. We will combat first. Sure, just attack with everything. Oh, they could have Whisper Agent. Yeah, that is a Whisper Agent. Sure. So that's going to block Boros Challenger, and then Fire Urchin's going to block here. I'll probably just play Hammer Dropper and let this happen. Yeah, I'm fine just letting this happen. Radical Idea to the graveyard. Nice. Ooh. Why block the lifelinker? That seems bad. Why would you block the lifelinker and not the Boros Challenger? Okay, this is even better for me. I'm very happy letting that happen. Unless my opponent has, like, Connive is the only thing I can really think of. The split card that takes a 2-power creature. Because my life total is already way higher than theirs. They need to not die here before they worry about how much life I'm gaining. This is just way better. Oh, duh, I could just pump this. Alright, call her the culprit. And I imagine we're going to see our opponent blow up this turn. Yeah, actually, never mind. Do I just have lethal? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, let's just kill the opponent instead of fooling around. Cool. Alright, a little bit awkward there. Mana screw from the opponent, and a mull to 6 in game 1. But we took down Judith the Scourge Demon, and that means Boros, this deck that I'm not happy with, ends up taking the 5-1. The full point. Dimir and Izzet. Okay, let's just backtrack real quick. Dimir and Izzet did not go 5-0 or 5-1. They did not go all the way. I think they ended at 4, and Izzet might have been at 4. Selesnya, I think, went all the way. It's so weird that the 2 best guilds didn't go all the way, but this pretty janky Boros deck did. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's to good play, or maybe it's to my opponent's mulliganing, and who knows. Anyway, that does it for By Force. We will not be playing any more By Force for Guilds of Ravnica. We will, however, do By Force for Ravnica Allegiances when it comes out, but not right away. We're going to go ahead and do just some normal drafts, probably on Moto and Arena, and get a feel for the format. And once the format's kind of died down and it's fallen in place, then we'll do by force again, and we'll get to force a whole new set of archetypes, which I'm really excited for. I know these aren't the most popular videos out there. It's probably around like 20, 30 people watch them or something along those lines, but I appreciate you hanging out because these are actually really fun for me. Out of all the drafts I do, this little series here has probably been the most fun so far just because it has a little bit of a quirk to it. And I like quirks. But anyway, enough blabbering. Boros takes it down in our final Guilds of Ravnica draft. I will see you guys with some set reviews moving into the pre-release. And I will see you for Ravnica Allegiances. So thanks for hanging out. My name's Timothy here with Mana Rocks. Appreciate you being here. And I will see you next time.